For a lot of business owners, the number one insurance expense they have is workers' compensation insurance. And this video is how to save money on workers' compensation insurance. I'm going to give you 4 ideas on how to do it. Let's get into it. The first idea is control your experience modification factor. If no one's talked you through this, you need to understand that you are graded on a bell curve against your peers. And 1 is average, and below 1 means you get a discount. Over 1 means you pay more than your peers. If you don't know what yours is, you need to look at your workers' compensation policy, or you need to go to NCCI, the National Council on Compensation Insurance, to request yours. The way this bell curve works is if you have more claims and more expensive claims than other businesses with the same workers' compensation class codes, you're going to get penalized and you're going to end up paying more. So, the way you control your experience mod is you make sure that you have quality risk management practices in place to make sure you have less claims and less severe claims than your peers. And then you're going to end up paying less in workers' compensation insurance just because your experience modification factor will go down. The second idea on how to save money on workers' compensation insurance is make sure that your employees are classified correctly on your workers' compensation policy. You need to make sure that you understand the classification that's being used, the definition, and all the employees that fit underneath of that class code. And if there is potentially a cheaper class code that can be used for some of your employees. So, for example, in a construction class code, you may have an electrician class code, and all the people that go out in the field, that's what they should be doing. But your office workers should go into a clerical class code, which is a fraction of the cost. So if everybody's being lumped into one classification, you are overpaying for some of your employees. Similarly, in a social service environment, your care providers, the people that go out into the community, may use a social service class code, but the people that never interact with clients and stay in the office, that should be clerical. They should be split out. And if you can make a justification based on tax documents and payroll documents, you should be able to split that out and pay less for the less expensive employees. Third, make sure that your subcontractors have their own workers' compensation insurance. If no one's explained this to you, let me explain how the workers' compensation insurance system works. If you are paying somebody to do work and they get hurt on your job site, if they don't have workers' compensation insurance, you're going to pay for it. It's pretty cut and dry because the state doesn't want to pay for your injured employees, which means they make it very hard for you to get out of paying for those injuries. The easiest and most straightforward way to make sure that you are not going to be held on the hook for your subcontractors' workers' compensation insurance is to make sure that they have their own. Get proof of workers' compensation insurance before they ever step foot on your job site. For contractors, this means subcontracted work. For home health agencies, this means if you've got people in the field, if you've got care providers with no workers' compensation insurance, you either need to make sure that they have their own workers' comp or you're getting ready to pay for it because the insurance company will pick it up at audit. And the fourth idea is once you make all those 3 other things look good, then you can go create competition in the insurance marketplace. You get insurance companies to compete with each other, but you can only do that if your experience mod looks good because your operations are in order, you're classified correctly, and you're controlling your subcontractors. You have to do those 3 things first before you can get insurance companies to compete with each other viciously to win your business. If you don't have the first 3 things in order, insurance companies are going to lean back because they're not going to be 100% interested in insuring your business. So make sure that you are appealing before you try to go to the marketplace. And hey, if this video helped, please hit like and subscribe. If you've got questions about your particular business, drop a comment in the comments. I read all of them, I respond to all of them. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please go build something great.